How's it going, everybody? My name is Salty and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over a tier list of all of the maps here in Black Ops Cold War. Alright, so before we get started, if you guys are new to the channel, I'm going to need you guys to make sure you hit the subscribe button for me. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers, and you're not going to want to miss any of my daily Call of Duty videos. Next, make sure to also smash the like button. It's the easiest and most effective way to support the channel. Let's jump right into it. All right, so I'm not going to try to spend too much time on each map. I just went through the list there on Cold War and custom games and just got all of the maps in total. So I'm only going to spend, a couple, 20, 30 seconds at most talking about each map. All right, so the first map we have here is going to be America. Now, this is a tough one to start with because I don't hate the map, but I also don't play it. I feel like every time I play it, the spawns are just kind of too chaotic. It's always a close game because the map is basically a mirror on each side, but I'm not also a fan of it. So I'm struggling to figure out. I'm going to put it in C for now, but I'm also not 100% if I want to keep it there. So we're just going to move on to Apocalypse. Apocalypse was one of the first DLC drops we had. It's a pretty good map. Pretty simple 3-lane design. In my opinion, better than any map they have in Vanguard. But when it comes to Cold War standards, I think this is definitely a B tier map. It could be higher just based on personal preference, but for me, I find that it kind of plays slow a lot of the time for some reason. It's a little campy. So we got Armada Strike. Now, this one, just personal opinion, I hate this map. Absolutely despise Armada Strike. And people could get on me for that, but this is a D tier map to me. It's almost too simplistic. There's like no way to get around the map. Once they lock you down, if you have someone in the upper part looking at you through the windows, you have one down watching you towards the little underground area near B flag, and then if you have someone on the upper deck there, and then maybe two underground, there's really no way to break this map. So that's kind of why I have it in D tier. Like I said, it's almost too simplistic. So Rush, 155%, a B tier map for me. I just have to consider that when I think of an S tier map, there's only one or two of those that exist to me. That's what makes them S tier. So, and then I also have to consider A tier. Rush is an absolutely fantastic map. Is it better than Apocalypse? I would say so. So I'm going to move that there. But is it better than some of the maps I'm going to have above it? Nah, probably not. So we're moving on to Cartel. Simple, C tier. This is a great 12v12 map. The only problem is they have the big bushes that everybody asks, just trim them down so people can't just sit in them and hide. For 12v12 was absolutely awesome. For 66, I've really played it like once. It's way too big playing on. But like I said, for 12v12 purposes, it actually was very good. But for 66, not great, but it's okay. I think it's better than Armada Strike. So we have Collateral Strike. It's a tough one. I don't play it much. I'm going to put Collateral Strike in D just simply because I don't play it a lot. It doesn't even show up in my rotation much. I feel like I've played it like maybe 10 times total. I didn't really find all too much success on it, but this could definitely change if I end up playing the map and doing well on it, because let's be honest, your image of the map is about how well you do on it. And then on top of that, of course, like the graphics of everything said and done. All right, so is this Crossroads? I think this is Crossroads Strike. Crossroads Strike is an A tier map to me. Simple, small, 3 lanes, but you can very easily navigate this map and break the traps that people set up, whether it's on hardpoint, domination, TDM. I think this is a very well-constructed map. It's definitely not an S tier. It's not going to be one of those maps that's extremely memorable, but it does the job extremely well. So this next one, I believe, is Zoo. It's a little hard to see. I could be wrong, but I definitely think it's Zoo. D tier. A lot of the normal Black Ops maps that they remastered in this game did not play well. They were extremely slow, extremely campy. That's just my opinion. I know some people really like those remastered maps, but for me, so actually this is not Zoo. What is this? Because Zoo is right here. So we're just going to take this right out. I don't know what that is. Zoo, we're talking about Zoo though, because Zoo's right here. Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I do not like that map whatsoever. Diesel, A. I have voiced my opinion about Diesel. Absolutely stunning map. Perfect map structure. The spawns are big enough that you can't just sit back there and get spawn trapped, but you can also break through from those spawns. It's not just a simplistic 3-lane map because there's a lot of open space to the right side of the map. It's more like a 2.5 lane map in my opinion, but especially for game modes like hardpoint, control, and domination, the map is absolutely perfect. I don't play much TDM and kill confirmed, as you guys know, so that could totally change, but I really like that map. So Moscow, that's what this map is. Moscow is easily, it's a classic Call of Duty map. The design of it is just very good. I'm going to put it B tier. I don't think it's better than Apocalypse. It's definitely not better than Rush. But overall, I think this map is one that when it came into the game was definitely one of the best out there was. It's just very simplistic, simple. It's like a 4-lane map with a lot of transitions into those lanes, which makes it a very quality map. It's definitely a map that I could see them bringing back like in the future, and I wouldn't even have a problem with that. So Drive-In, another D tier map for me. It's the same thing as Zoo. It's just, there's a lot of open space. It's way too big. There's a lot of camping spots. It's just not it for me. Those older maps definitely catered more to camping, but those, you also weren't moving as quick, so you could definitely take time to pick those people out of those camping spots. That's why those maps worked back in the day, but I wouldn't consider Zoo and Drive-In even memorable maps back in Black Ops 1. When I think of Black Ops 1, I think of Jungle, Firing Range, and Summit, of course, Nuketown as well. That's just my personal opinion, though, but not a fan in this game. So Echelon. Echelon, I'm going to go with C tier. I've talked about this map actually in videos. There's the big open space in the middle that's just a big hole. If they actually had some way that you could navigate through that, whether you just put a platform there and have some cover, I think it definitely would cater more to an aggressive play style. But with the 2 windows on the opposite sides, it just makes for a very campy and slow gameplay. But I know people, I have friends who love Echelon. They absolutely love this map. They have some of their kill records on Echelon. Personally, for me, I've never found that traction with the map. It's not bad by any means. Anything that I have above D, I think is a playable map, and I probably would play it. So just keep that in mind when we're going through the rest of this list. Express, this is B. It's an awesome map. Where do I put Express? I think Express is better than Apocalypse, and also better than Moscow. It's a classic COD map. Simple, 3 lanes, has a lot of transitions into those 3 lanes, and it's just, you can't go wrong with classic Call of Duty maps like that. That's what differs between this and Drive-In and Zoo. Those Zoo and Drive-In is, there's just too much going on vertically. There's too much going on as far as windows, whereas Express is very simplistic. You have the windows in the train, you have the windows in that one spot, which is a hard point, kind of like, it doesn't overlook B flag, but it's next to it. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Absolutely stunning and beautiful map. One that I would have no problem with them bringing back. So I feel like it's time for me to just skip ahead and drop some, like at least one S tier map here, and it's going to be Raid. Raid is, without a doubt, the best map in this game. It's the best map in Black Ops 2, in my opinion. It was a little different in Black Ops 3. It didn't play that well, but you had jetpacks to consider. It's just a map that I could play 24/7. If they had a Raid 24/7 playlist over Nuketown, I would play Raid every single day. Raid is, there's just not much to say. It's beautifully, like, the aesthetics of the map are beautiful. It kind of makes you want to be there. The layout is just flawless. You have basically 3 different, you know, levels of elevation. When you think about it, you have the perfectly lined up windows. It's just very symmetrical, and I think when it comes down to Call of Duty maps and S tier Call of Duty maps, they are symmetrical. When everything's said and done, it's even on each side, no matter which side you spawn on the map. And that's why I think Nuketown is the next S tier map. And these are the only 2 S tier maps, need I say. But Nuketown is the same as Raid. Very symmetrical. It's the same no matter which side of the map you spawn on. And that is what's important. I think they need to go back to the basics and figure out why people loved the maps that they did. It's not like every single map needs to be absolutely symmetrical, but if you go back in Call of Duty history, the ones that are favored the most, I mean, look at Shipment. It's the same thing. It's a very simplistic, it's a very symmetrical map that is even played on both sides. So we have Garrison up on deck. For me, this is a B tier map. I love Garrison, extremely fast gameplay, but the problem is it's kind of like Armada Strike in a way, where you can get a team hemmed into the back of their spawn and then they don't move. But I also enjoy playing Garrison much more because I feel like it just plays much faster. The spawns, I think, also flip a bit quicker, so people just can't sit back there and camp. Once you push back there, they kind of do like to flip. I would pick Garrison 100% of the time if it was on the docket against a map, any of them below it. So that's what you guys also need to picture. If I am going to match up any of these maps against each other, for an example, if Raid pops up against Diesel, I'm picking Raid, obviously. Or if Diesel pops up against Rush, I'm picking Diesel. So we're going to slide on to Hijacked here, A tier map. Oh, there's not much needed to say about Hijacked. It is just like Raid, very aesthetically pleasing, but at the same time, I feel like this map can get a bit campy. Far too campy for my liking. When you have the 2 windows on the top and the 2 buildings across from each other, in a way, it is very much like the maps that are S tier, where they are virtually a picture reversed on each other on each side of the map, but this one just has far too many camping spots. and you know, you got people camping underground and they don't move all game. It's just the simple things like that. The underground area is a great flank route if it's used properly and people don't just sit down there and camp, but unfortunately that's kind of how this game is played out. So we're sliding over to jungle. Very new map in the game here. I don't know where to put this because in a way I want to put it in B, but also in a way I want to put it in C. In my opinion, the best game mode you can be playing on jungle is hardpoint, but that's about it. TDM is very campy. You got people on top of the rock. That's about it. I did play TDM. Kill confirm's more or less the same, and even domination. People just sit on the top of that dang rock, or they camp in the building next to B flag, and they don't move the entire game. So for hardpoint is a totally different game mode, though. People move around the map a lot, and it's very aggressive. So I absolutely love it for hardpoint, but outside of that, I just got to put it in C tier. I'm going to put it at the beginning of C tier. I don't know what else to say about it, honestly. If every game mode played like hardpoint, then I wouldn't have any issues. I can't get it to move. There we go. So as we were moving here a bit on the list, I realized I made a mistake with that map again. The one that I was having questions about. The pictures are just so small, it's hard for me to actually see them. This is Deprogram, and Deprogram is definitely not a B tier map to me. People go in those teleporters, they camp. Honestly, if you didn't have those teleporters, I think it's an A tier map. But with the teleporters, it was a cool idea. But with there only being one way, or I guess 2 ways up, you can basically put an entire team up there if you're playing TDM and win the game because nobody can get in. It's a D tier map to me just simply because of that. Now, Moscow, we already talked about. I'm putting that right back in B tier. So satellite, this is the map I go to for long shots. I go into hardcore and I look for satellite. Other than that, I do not play the map. Too much open space. That dunes area is just not it. I get, like I said, for long shots, it's a great map. But other than that, I just don't really have an opinion on it. I'm putting it in D just simply because I don't have an opinion for it. Miami Strike. Now, this is a hot take, I'm sure, to a lot of people. I'm putting this right at the beginning of B. Miami Strike, Miami itself, the main map, Miami, some of you might not have even played Miami, was atrocious. It was absolutely a beautiful map, but it was atrocious. It was far too big. They added it into the 12v12 rotation, or I don't know what they call that, combined arms. And it played pretty well. It was definitely a good 12v12 map. But Miami Strike, when they decided to release it, instantly became one of my most played in the game until they started adding more of the remastered maps. But I have nothing but love for Miami Strike here. No, I don't have much to say. Simple 3-lane, very fast-paced. I'm a very aggressive player, so those fast-paced maps definitely suit my playstyle. Down to slums. I mean, honestly, the slums could go in the S tier for me. This right now is in the beginning of A. It could go in the S tier. You know what? I'm putting it in S tier. That's going to be my last S tier map. I think it's better than Standoff simply because it is a mirrored version of each other. Like I said, right in the middle map, it is absolutely identical, and it's an extremely easy map to learn, extremely easy map to play. There's a potential for a lot of kills. The spawns are very good. It's a great game, or a great map for every single game mode that you can play. So I'm not going to dive much into that, but we're at Standoff, and this is easily an S tier map, but I wanted to keep it pretty even across the board. When I go down for it, I would definitely choose Raid, Nuketown, and Slums over Standoff. But Standoff is definitely an A tier map and right in the beginning of A tier. I'm telling you, this is what I remember from my childhood, is Standoff, loading up into Standoff, having all the trash talking. This map is one of those very different maps. It's played extremely different than what people are used to because you're used to, you know, there's a lot of elevation, but the elevation works. It's not that campy in a way because the window on the side near grandma's house doesn't, or top brown, whatever you want to call it, doesn't watch B flag. It only watches that one single lane, which makes it good. But then you also have the 2 sets of windows that watch B flag, so it ends up evening out. It's more or less a fight for that middle building after everything's said and done if the map is played the right way. I love it. It has a lot of transitions through the lanes. It's just a beautiful map. I would love to hear your opinion of Standoff. I mean, I'm fairly certain a lot of you would have this in the S tier. So we're at the Pines. In the Pines, I think this is an A tier map. Truthfully, I think it's at the end of A tier. I don't play it all that often, but I think it's definitely an A tier map. It has it's a little bit on the bigger side, but the overall aesthetic of the map is beautiful. It has a lot of transitions of the lanes, so there's a lot less camping. You can flank people that do decide to camp. There is the one camping spot in that one little balcony there, but it's not that hard to, you know, beat people off of that head glitch. It's a map that if you're not playing the objective, you are going to lose. So I think just from the sense that it can't be played like a campy map, that's what really puts it in the A tier. I definitely think it's better than all of them in B. The only one that I would question is maybe Miami Strike, just because of the pace of it. But when it comes down to casually playing the game, I think the Pines is a great map. So we're on to WMD, and I am immediately throwing this into D tier. This map is so campy, just like the other Black Ops 1's map. I don't know why people decide to sit there and camp. This is one of those maps that I have great memories on. It never was this campy, but unfortunately, people decide they want to abuse the high elevation, the simple spots, the windows, the buildings, and they don't want to move the entire game. They don't care about winning. They just care about keeping their kill streak, keeping their score streaks. You know what I mean? It's heartbreaking, because I used to love that map. And finally, we're at Yemen Tau. Now, Yemen Tau, I'm going to put right at the beginning of C. I actually really like this map. And when you consider where this is actually ranked, it's right in the middle of the pack. If we're really being honest, right in the middle of the pack. I would definitely choose every single map above it before I chose Yemen Tau, but I've had some great games on Yemen Tau. It's a simple 3-lane map, and there's also a lot of good transitions into those lanes. The only problem with this map is the middle of the map is a bit too scattered. That big thing that kind of hovers around B flag there, the big thing in the center of the map, is a bit too big in my opinion. I think it would have been better with smaller pieces of cover versus that big thing that shoots right up into the sky. But that's my tier list. I'm going to put the link down in the comment section, so if you guys want to go through this yourself and do the tier list, it was made by me. I normally don't allow links in the comment section, but I will allow it for this video. So if you guys want to go through and put them in the comment section, I will allow your links to go through so everybody and myself can take a look at them. But if you guys want to see some other tier lists, make sure you guys hit the like button. It's how I know you enjoy the video. Let me know how far you made it. If you have made it this far, go down in the comments and say S tier. Just put S tier all together. And that way I know you made it to the end. But hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you in the next video. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you could make sure you hit that like button for me, that'd be absolutely awesome. If you're new to the channel, make sure you also smash that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video.